Well, do we have like 14 skill points for real? Yeah. Wow. Okay, I have no idea how we haven't seen this. Enemies in the center of the explosion instantly get frightened. Great. Take this. This one. When you use a spike on an enemy, I forgot how to use it, so you gain health by performing full brutal takedowns. This is better. As I remember, yeah, we've done everything that could be done. The side missions. So I guess we're gonna go and do the mother of all crimes.
I believe that shall help you greatly.
Is it on the other side? No, this way. What happened? Another murder. Yeah, Mary Jane Kelly. Jack's latest atrocity must be his last. Evie searches for anything the monster may have overlooked, anything that will help her bring an end of the Reaper reigns of terror. To the Reaper's reign of terror.
Monster. You damn monster!
Oi! You're not allowed in here! Evie! Get a hold of yourself! Go! Out!
Who is she? Tell me quickly!
Tell you? By what right? I am an officer of the law. I am not a member of your secret organization!
Listen to me! Jacob knows
No,
you.
you listen to me. I cannot cover for you much longer. All the evidence points to your brother, your order, you. You need to deliver the Ripper's head on a spike soon, or I'm afraid there'll be nothing to stop my men from arresting you in his stead.
You'll have his head, even if it costs me mine.
A young unfortunate. By far the youngest at 25.
Okay, investigation.
He removed her organs, her heart, her dignity.
You want me to see you as she did?
Imagine the terror she felt.
Do you hurt women just to prove you're a man, Jack?
This is horrific, revolting. There are no words to describe the savagery displayed here. Oh. I can't read it. No, I can't read it, like... Is it English? Maybe it's like, reversed? Oh. I have... Let's find
The
another
kettle is
boost.
still warm.
Still warm, nice. Or not nice.
That is a lot of blood.
Blood spatter. The blood stain has a straight edge on one side, suggesting that an object blocked the spatter.
I can't make sense of these markings from this position.
There's blood on the door and a strange symbol that resembles the one above the body. The police must have moved the door when they arrived on the scene. Ha. Aha. Aha.
What's this? Jack must have left these markings for me.
My gift to you, Miss Fry, and more to come, unless you do as Jack says. Follow the trail of blood through the looking glass.
Jack wants me to return to the scene of his first crimes. I will do as you say, Jack. Until I find you and send you to your own special hell.
What did you discover?
A message for me. The monster is going to lead me right to him, Inspector. I must return to the locations of the Ripper's first crimes.
Don't let your fury blind you, Miss Fry. I would not lose you, too.
If I do die, Inspector, I will take the Ripper with me. Annie Chapman was murdered near a cemetery in Whitechapel.
Okay, it's not far away. Don't kill anyone, okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask how to do this, but we can. Right on them.
I'm going to have to scare off this lot if I want to investigate in peace.
Okay, they run into the wrong direction, to the brood that actually calmed them. I don't think it's gonna be possible to not kill everyone. I need to kill at least that brood there. Or maybe. But let's try this one like one more time. Whatever. Ah, we haven't killed that guy. Actually, okay. Because we're only breaking them.
Someone fought here.
All blood traces. The Reaper's first strike did not kill her outright. It was a deep wound that bled profusely.
This is where Jack ripped the life from Miss Chapman's breast. The second victim of his hideous crimes.
The Reaper wounded her again here.
So where is the ring?
She lost a lot of blood, but the injuries were still not fatal. Jack let her flee only to hunt her down again and again, prolonging her life.
Where does it lead?
The footsteps suggest that she turned around here, and given the amount of blood lost, she paused for a moment before fleeing again. Did she stop to face Jack, or to find some place to hide a clue? A third powerful strike, which still did not slay her instantly. Jack must have reached her terror as she watched her life slip away.
Damn it! Yet another one.
Okay, so the ring trajectory, right? Okay, so not yet. She fell here exhausted, terrified, and alone. There was no merciful final blow. Jack must have watched as her life drain away in a pool
Her
of
assassin
blood.
must be here somewhere.
No. Was there like for a few days, and right now.
Jack wanted to be sure I'd find these rings.
Found it. The raven has left the ring in the nest. Another message.
What kind of creed cannot protect its own?
This message was intended first for my brother. Catherine Eddowes was murdered in a small square close to the train tracks.
Kill anyone again?
The president of our vigilance committee received half of poor Miss Eddowes' kidney, and the Ripper still runs
Like, who am I to
free.
kill here again? Like, is the police gonna interrupt me if they see me?
I must
That's what
find
they
the
said to me.
location where Jack murdered his other victim.
What has the
She was
government
found here on
done?
her back with her throat slit and one
Let
ear
us
cut off.
demand the
Her
closure
intestines
of
had been
all
drawn out
wicked
and displayed by
houses
some
of
fiendish
sin
design.
and impurity in our city. We shall petition our most gracious Majesty, Queen Victoria. But what if our petition falls on deaf ears? Who will avenge the blood of these unfortunate victims? I say we must...
That is a lot of blood.
Eddowes was backed to the wall here, bleeding profusely. Jack's cut
Who
was
will
deep,
avenge
perhaps
the blood of
in the
these
abdomen.
unfortunate victims? I say we must take the law
Signs
into
of a
our own
struggle.
hands.
Dozens and headprints suggest that Miss Eddowes was fleeing on her hands and knees.
President of our vigilance committee received half of poor Miss Eddowes'
I see her! Coming up two sides! Oh, god dang! There she is! I'll slice you open!
Great, police is actually more brave. Not anymore, huh?
Let me go! I beg you!
This is where Miss Eddowes breathed her last. Humiliated and degraded by Jack. He wanted to punish my brother.
Jack ended Miss Eddowes' agony here, throwing her to the ground to perform his macabre ritual mutations.
Where does it lead?
She jumped over these crates with Jack on her heels. Her wounds were not so deep as to prevent escape yet.
You monster. You murdered every assassin my brother turned against you and your insane creed.
The amount of blood lost suggests that Jack had slit his right throat here, killing her instantly. Kate Dados had time to flee.
Blood splatters.
Odd blood spatter pattern. This spatter is too small to have come from the victim's wound. The droplets and wrist and haystack are barely visible, suggesting a blood-covered object might have rolled or bounced here from another location.
More blood splatter.
Small droplets of blood, but not from the fight. The spatter might come from a small blood-covered object from... Yeah, we know it.
I should follow these traces.
She leaped over the wall in a desperate attempt to flee the Reaper.
Her assassin ring must be here somewhere.
And when and where? Okay, I'm trying to inspect it. Ah, okay. This is so slow. No use poking around the edges, this is going to require a closer look. Okay, closer look like this.
Her assassin ring must be here somewhere. 2 assassin's rings. Jack murdered 2 women here. 2 of Jacob's initiates.
There was a Reaper, right? No, it's not Reaper. There's this big brute there. There are 2 messages here.
How many more must die before you see the truth? P.S. Your brother didn't listen, so I gave him a double lesson. Your creed failed them, as it failed my mother.
Jack lived around here with his mother as a boy. That's where he's leading me. For Jack, only his mother's death counts as murder. What is this place? The Ripper didn't murder anyone here. What?
I was born here, survived the madhouse and learned from the best. Until he betrayed me. Come test your creed against mine.
Go to Jacob! Run, Jack!
What? Where?
The murder of Jack's mother marks the day that the Ripper was born. And he blames my brother. Blames the creed for failing them. What's happening to me?
I should thank you, Evie. Jacob inspired my acts by his treachery, but it's your meddling that inspired today's masterpiece.
He's inside my head.
Where was Jacob when Starrick's men gutted my mother? Where was he when they dragged me to the madhouse?
Am I losing my mind?
What kind of creed cannot protect its own? A dead creed, that's what.
Skill break? Oh, 6.
Face me, you monster!
Control yourself, Evie.
Jacob freed me from the madhouse riddled by guilt. He saw something.
No! Please! Please!
Wow.
The madhouse. Lambeth Asylum. Jack lures me through the looking glass.
What happened with the legs? People, other people. I made so many, I hate when it happens. Mary Ann Nicholson. Mary Ann Paul Nicholson was the first of Whitechapel murder victims. Her death was been attributed to the notorious and identified serial killer Jack the Ripper. All 5 of Conical Ripper victims worked in one of the brothels run by Madame Cole, Lady O, during the fall of 1888. Polly shared a room with another destitute woman named Nellie shortly before her death. While her estranged first husband identified Miss Nichols' body at the official inquest, Inspector Aberline, who was present at the time, wrote in his unofficial notes that the man had barely looked at the woman before declaring that he forgave her for what she had done to him. It was Inspector Aberline who first discovered an assassin's ring on the site of the murder and posited to Evie that the body of the murder prostitute could very well have belonged to someone else, an assassin or a spy working for Jacob, perhaps. Elizabeth Stride, Longlace, is believed to be third victim of the notorious unidentified serial killer called Jack the Ripper. Elizabeth Stride was born Elizabeth Gustav Tutter in the parish of Torslanda, west of Gothenburg, Sweden, on 27 November 1843. Unlike most other victims of the Whitechapel murders, who fell in prostitution due to poverty after a failed marriage, Stride took it up earlier. By March 1865, she was registered by the Gothenburg police as a prostitute, was treated twice for sexually transmitted disease, and gave birth to a stillborn girl on 21st April 1865. An acquaintance described her as having a calm temperament, though she appeared numerous times for being drunk and disorderly at Thames Magistrates Court, where she gave her name as Annie Fitzgerald, but once called herself Olwyn Oyers. Although there was not enough evidence for Evie to be absolutely sure that Miss Stride was working for Jacob, 2 assassin rings were found on the scene of the double event, the double murder of Stride and Eddowes, that was infamously described in one of the Reaper's letters. Kate Eddowes was the 4th victim in the Whitechapel murder. She was the 2nd woman killed in the early hours of Sunday, 30 September 1888, a night which already had seen the murder of Elizabeth Stride less than an hour earlier. It was also known as Kate Conway and Kate Kelly after her 2 successive common law husbands was born in Grizzly Green, Wolverhampton on 14 April 1842. In 1881, she was living with her 2nd partner John Kelly at Koniu Common Lodging House, Spitalfields, in the centre of London's most notorious criminal rockery. Here she took casual prostitution to pay the rent. Friends and Eddowes described her as intelligent and scholarly, but possessed of a fierce temper and a very jolly woman always singing. The 2 assassin rings found by the AV months after the double murder suggested that both Eddowes and Stride was working for Jacob. Perhaps the real Eddowes or Stride survived to live out their lives in some other part of the world, while 2 assassins were buried under their names. This one we already read, so we're gonna omit this. And Mary Jane Kelly, also known as Mary Jane Kelly, Fair Emma, Ginger, and Black Mary, is widely believed to be the 5th and final victim of the notorious unidentified serial killer Jack the Ripper. She was about 25 years old at the time of her death. She was born in Limerick, Ireland, but we do not know if that refers to the country or the town. On arriving in London, Kelly went to work in a high-class brothel in the West End. In early September 1888, when her man Bernard lost his job, Mary Jane returned to the streets. Bernard decided to leave her. At around 2 a.m. on the day of her murder, a witness claimed to have seen Mary Jane Kelly cross Commercial Street and turn down Dorset Street with a powerful built man wearing a high hat and a dark trench coat, but he wore some kind of covering over his face. Kelly and the man stopped outside Mirror's court and talked for a bit. Kelly is heard to say, "Alright, my dear, come along, you will be comfortable." The couple then heads down Miller's court. She was never seen alive again. Mary Kelly was burnt and mutilated sometime between 2 and 10:45 a.m. when John McCarthy, owner of Middle Court, sent Thomas Boyer to collect past due rent money from Mary Kelly. None who entered the room that day would ever forget the horror of that Jack Ripper had done to Mary Jane Kelly. Yeah. Okay, some hard stuff. The murder of Mary and Polly. The body of Mary and Polly Nicholas was found at 3:40 a.m. in a gateway in Bucks Row, Whitechapel, on Friday, 31st August 1888. Polly is generally believed to have been the first of Jack Ripper victims. The woman's throat had been slashed so severely that her head had almost been cut from her body. The cuts must have been caused by a long-bladed knife, northerly sharp, and used with great violence. No blood was found on the breast, either of the body or of the clothes. There were no injuries above the body until just about the lower part of the abdomen. There were several inches running across the abdomen. The injuries were made from left to right and might have been done by a left-armed person. All the injuries had been caused by the same instrument. Her fingers bore the marks of her rings, which were presumably lost or stolen. Marianne Polly Nicholas was buried on Thursday, 6 September 1888, but for all we know, the woman who lies in the grave might be the assassin who replaced her. Okay, we know it. Thanks, Choppy, for the host. Yeah. How are you? We're just like reading some terrible stuff. The body of Elizabeth Stride was found at 1 a.m. on September 30, 1888, in Dudfield Yards of Berners Street, now Henrik Street, in Whitechapel, just an hour before the Ripper's fourth victim was discovered. The fact that her throat had been cut but the rest of her body had not been touched led to speculation that her killer had been interrupted. The deceased has a silk handkerchief around her neck and it appeared to be slightly torn. The throat was deeply gashed and there was an abrasion of the skin. There was a clever cut incision on the neck. The cut was very clean and deviated a little downwards. The arteries and other vessels contained in the ship's head were all cut through. Her fingers bore the marks of several rings, which were presumed lost or stolen. From here on, the Ripper is public enemy number 1. How are you? How's your day? We were seeing each other like today. Yeah. Full day of stream, almost with some breaks. I'm good. How are you? I'm good. I haven't eaten breakfast because I actually woke up at 11. Then I started to make a lunch, and yeah. I started streaming. Every day. But COVID is there, so you're not allowed to go anywhere almost, like, so yeah. What else to do? Stream. And we wanted to finish this game as fast as possible, so it's a perfect occasion. At approximately 1:35 p.m. on September 30, 1888, Catherine Addo's lifeless body was found in Mitri Square. She was the Ripper's third canonical victim and the second victim in what is sometimes called the double event. The reference comes from the Sausage Egg postcard which was received on October 1st, 1888 at the Central News Agency. The attack on Catherine Eddowes had been brutal in the extreme, as if the Ripper was frustrated by the interruption of his work on Lizzie's trial. Eddowes' throat had been cut, she had been ripped open and her intestines had been pulled out and laid over her shoulder. The killer had cut deep V-shapes into her cheeks and eyes. The tip of her nose had been sliced off and her earlobes had been nicked through with the blade. In addition, the killer had made off with her left kidney and her uterus, whilst a portion of her apron was also missing. Gosh. On October 16, George Lusk, the president of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, received a 3-inch square cardboard box in his mail. Inside was half a human kidney preserved in wine, along with the new infamous Ripper letter that begins from home. Her fingers bore the marks of several links, which were presumed lost or stolen. And there are the clues which Effie discovered on the murder scene weeks after the crime were placed on the road by Jack to bait her, and his message clearly condemned Jacob for sending his female initiates to the slaughter. And the last one. The body of Mary Jane Kelly was found at 10:45 am on 9 November 1888 at 13 Miller's Court of Dorset Street in Whitechapel. She was approximately 25 years old at the time of her death. Inspector Aberline was on the scene when the door was forced open and the police filed into the room. A sight of unimaginable horror met their eyes. The wall behind the bed was spattered with blood. On the bedside table was a pile of raw human flesh. And there on the bed itself, very recognizable as a human, was the almost skinned body of Mary Kelly. Mary Kelly was the only one object the Ripper victim to be photographed at the scene of the crime. Indeed, at first glance, when you see that photo, it is difficult to believe that you are looking at the body of a human being, so horrifically gruesome were the injuries that Mary Kelly sustained. There was no evidence that Mary Kelly was wearing any jewelry or rings at the time of murder. The murder of Mary Kelly seems specifically designed to unnerve and subsequently reel Evie into her final confrontation with Jack the Ripper. Mary Kelly was the only victim murdered by Jack after he had eliminated Jacob as a threat to his grandmother. As Gillette so often referred to his butchery. She was also significantly younger than other victims, and the paroxysm of violence met out on her course rank of provocation, especially in light of the message that Evie discovered on the scene. My gift to him is fry, and more to come as you do, as Jack says. Whoa. Okay, we've read all those crimes already, so I guess we're done with it. Damn. That game is brutal, only by, it's enough to put some stories and text stories.